Hi, everybody. It's me, Rachel G. Palmistry, or as you know me on here, Rachel Galbreath. Thank you for joining Spiritual Psychics TV again tonight. I know it's late for all of you, so thank you for joining. It's 10:30 for the majority of you over in the UK, and it is a 5:30 in the early evening here for me. Super sunny and 84 degrees. Yes. Anyway, so yes, I read palms, but please, please understand that the way that I read palms is probably very different than what you are used to or you've heard about or maybe you've had done in the past. So if you do want to attempt to get a reading, we'll see what happens, where things go. There is an email. You take your cell phone, take a photo of the hand that you write with. Like if you were to pick up a pen and write with, that's your dominant hand, okay? That is your current life hand. With your cell phone, take a photo of your palm from the wrist all the way, including all the tips of the fingers, and make sure that it is very crisp, clear, lighting is as best as it could possibly get, and send it in to Richard, and we'll see if we can do a palm reading for you. Now, don't be shy, okay? The palms, the photos of the palms, is this right, Richard? They are discarded after the show, so don't worry about your palm floating around anywhere. Right. Okay. It How this is done is there aren't specific people that I just go to. It's very random. It's whoever I'm drawn to. Okay, that's how it is done. That's how actually any of my lives are done. And I think any of the lives really on SPTV are done. It's wherever spirit kind of guides any of us. So that's where I'm going to segue into checking out the other readers here on SPTV. Go to the website, become a patron. There are different levels because all of these readings are free. So to keep it free for everybody, you might want to become a patron. You do get different perks, different discounts. There are little meetup groups. There are development circles you can join in. And you can just go to the website, spiritualpsychicstv.com, and read up on all the different readers, like myself. And see how nervous I was the first time I was on here. Oh, I can't believe you put that on there, Richard. But anyway, that's a side note. I look at that page and I'm like, ooh, okay. So, thank you for stopping by. And I hope we have a great evening ahead of us. How's this full moon affecting everybody? We are in a super moon, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it, but it is giving me the feely feels, as I was just discussing with Richard. A lot of lack of sleep, a lot of emotion, a lot of empathic stuff, hypersensitive stuff floating around. I can kind of walk out my front door and feel what other people are going through. It's a little wild right now. But this is how we're going to do tonight. If you do have any questions about the moon or anything, feel free to talk amongst yourselves, or you can find me on Facebook or at my website, or even through spiritualpsychicstv.com. You can message me. Hey, Emma, the bad influence. Yes, it is a supermoon, okay? Which is why it's having such an effect on a lot of people. Now, the other thing is that I want to explain the type of palm reading that I do. I don't do that, and if you've been here before and you've seen me do readings before, maybe even in person, you know that the type of reading and style or technique that I use is more of a soul reading. So it's not that, 2 years from now on a Thursday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a yellow car is going to go by, honk 4 times, and then some man's going to knock on your door and ask you to marry him. No. Okay? None of that. None of that. Okay? That's not how true palmistry works, to be quite honest and frank with you. It is about your energy, what makes you uniquely you, and everything that energy has been through, is currently going through, and will go through. Okay? So on here, I focus on the dominant hand. As I said, send those pictures in of the hand that you write with. That is your current life. Okay? Now, what does that mean about the hand that you don't write with? That means that is a map to everything your energy has been through every past life. The most poignant, the most important situations are on that other hand. Hey, Pamela, good to see you. Oh, I know, right? Full moon. And it's a super moon. And I think the moon in May is also going to be another super moon. And we have an eclipse. And yeah, well, it is in Scorpio, just so you know. And anytime things happen in Scorpio, we are diving deep into our emotions. And if we do, unlike myself, get to sleep and we dream, more often than not, things will pop up in our dreams that we don't really want to think about while we're awake. And why is that? Because we are in a Scorpion moon. And Scorpions are that very deep water sign that feels, the feely feels, as I call it. So it doesn't surprise me, Pamela, but thanks for coming on by. I love seeing you. I love you. You have a great energy, you do. All right. So if there aren't any more questions, hey, Yvonne, good to see you. Oh, I didn't even say this. Toward the end, I will try to do very, very fast, quick mini readings using tarot cards, because I can get so over involved in doing a palm reading that Richard will actually tell me and keep an eye on it. And then toward the end of the show, I will actually do mini readings with cards, which are a completely different approach. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. You're a patron. Hey, Nicole. You again. How's that hematite working for you, huh? Oh, it's good to see you. Hi, Magella. I hope I said your name right, Magella. Hi, Coolies. Hey, I'm horrible. I really butcher names. I really do. So apologies. But hi to you all the way over in Australia. Hey, Carolyn. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey, Angel from Norway. Wow. Hi, Katie from another Australia. Oh, I did? Okay, Richard is saying I gave Katie a reading 2 weeks ago, the last time I was on here, because I am on here fortnightly. And so, yeah, we don't think Richard and now myself, I don't think that you got the reading, Katie, but it is there. So you might want to go back over the last show for me and see what I had to say. Hey, Tony, good to see you. Tarot with Ghosts of the Karmic Healer. I love that. I love your picture, too. From Illinois. Well, I'm in Ohio. And hello, my sister. Hello, my cranky sister, Amy Verb. Hey, Julie. Good to see you. And you sent your hand. Well, let's hope I get to it. Hey, Kim. Hi. It's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you for joining in. Hi, Bev. Good to see you. Okay, there is an email that down. It's actually pinned in the comment section in the chat. So, hi, Abby. Thanks for joining. Never had a palm reading. Buckle up. Buckle up, Abby. I hope you sent your hand in. Hi, Tina. We'll see. We'll see if we have time and that we get to you. And thank you. I know that I forgot to mention both on Facebook and on YouTube right now simultaneously. So thank you. Both avenues, both directions. Hi, Lacey from Scotland. I will make it there one day. I will. Hi, Julie. Yes. Richard's just reminding me in my ear here that I am trying my best to get to the spiritual weekend. Are we calling it a retreat, or what is the proper word for it? Holiday? Like a weekend spiritual retreat next March. And I am trying my best to get there. Crossing my fingers, so I might just have to swing up to Scotland. Who knows? Hey, another Scotland. This is a sign, Richard. Hi, Emma Jane. Thanks for stopping by. Trinity, hello. Thank you. Welcome. Hi, Betty. Hey, Stace. And congratulations on your mediumship. I actually watched some of it. Yeah. So hi, Helen. Okay. Helen, Richard is saying that it is pinned. She's on Facebook, though. Does that make a difference, Richard? Okay, it is pinned on Facebook, Helen. So just look around. You're going to find it. I promise you. Hey, Siobhan. Good to see you. I'm blooming. Okay. It's the moon. Hey, Mandy. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. Hi, Claire. Oh, I'm telling you. Hey, Margaret. Another Scotland. I really am going to have to go. This is a sign, isn't it? Oh. See, I really... Almost start a little collection. I am ready when you are, Richard. Hey, Shirley. Oh, I love your little social icon. Hey, Casey. Hello. Hi, Heather. Casey, I hear your palm is going to start the evening. So here we go. Here we go. Buckle up. Right about now, you're like, no, I don't want it red. She said, buckle up. No, I don't want it. All right. Well, great picture. First off, I can see it's almost as clear as if you were to take a hand stamp, like actually press your hand with ink into a journal. All the fine lines I can see. It's pretty amazing. All right. First off, because I do have to keep these rather short, right? Or try to. Never really works out, but I try. Yeah, he's threatening me over here. He's telling me he's watching. Okay. First off, let's look at a couple things on your hand. Now, whatever I say, yeah, I can see that. I can see that, Richard. Thank you. So, Casey, couple things I see right off the bat on your hand are your fingers and also a couple of lines that are on your palm. I'm not going to do the overall hand because there's not enough time for that. But the shape and where your thumb is placed. Okay? Now, when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships, now this may seem kind of like a very kind of down kind of thing I'm going to say, but it is not, okay? Trust me, just give me a minute and I'll explain. When the thumb is placed farther up on the hand, like the actual joint you can see on yours is up pretty far, right? That means that your energy for this particular life is seeking to kind of be involved with others and to be a part of, be a part of the group, to be involved with what is going on around you, and not really that people pleaser kind of thing, but if somebody does kind of praise your efforts, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel kind of like you have a purpose. And unfortunately, when the thumb is set higher on the hand, that means that in a subconscious level, other people will pick up on that as well. Trust me, this isn't something that's in the conscious where people go out looking for, people that have a thumb set a certain way and will only work with those people. This is subconscious energy to energy attraction, okay? So looking at your Jupiter finger and your Saturn finger, this is Jupiter, this is Saturn. They are relatively the same length, all right? Which means that you need to believe in you more, and you need to do for you, not for others, right now, starting right now. And the anxiety that you have on your lifeline, which is this line right here, you have anxiety lines which are in this area, which is called the Mount of Venus. That is basically a result of you holding on to that, like holding on to the words you want to say when you get upset about you being the one to have to do stuff. Now, that is all, that's just not a good place to be, all right? So we're going to look at the other half of your hand, of your fingers, right? This is Apollo and this is Mercury. Do you see Apollo? Apollo is about expressing yourself. So all that stuff, that anxiety that you have on your lifeline, that's from you kind of swallowing all that nervous and anger and stuff that you would really like to speak up about, right? If you were to express it, your world would change. 100% change. And it is one of your strongest points. Also, if you tell people you agree, thank you for confirming that. Now also, Mercury, which is the pinky, the little finger, do you see how long he is? But he is set further down. The actual joint, right? The beginning of Mercury is further down on your hand, which means that because of how you were, now this is the interesting part about past life hand reading, which I'm not going to be able to do today, right? But your finger is set that way because of how you were in a past life. So it's going to be hard for you to just be very, how do I put this, that black and white. Hey, you weren't there at 2 o'clock and it really upset me. It's going to be hard for you to do that. So it's kind of a karmic penance that you are paying right now. And it's okay. It's okay. So how do you get around that, right? Well, I said Apollo is a really strong finger for you. So you take care of you. You start expressing how you feel about stuff that's going on. You think of adjectives, right? That's how I like to talk about Apollo. And I also, do you do any kind of like yoga or meditation or anything like that? Because I really think that might help you with that anxiety, to release it, because the people around you, the people that are around a hand like yours, they're really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to actually get through to them, to explain to them how they make you feel. Okay? So you are much stronger than you know. It's basically everything that your hand is saying. You have so much to work with, so very, very much to work with. Get creative, Casey. Get creative. You don't have to be a people pleaser. And criticism is about growth, okay? And we're not meant to be on a hamster wheel. No, nothing at all, always working. Okay. Well, you are going to have to stop, take care of you, and explain to people why, and they're going to have a hard time understanding it, so be prepared for that. But you're not meant to be on a hamster wheel. Nobody is. Okay? So I hope that helped. Also, very quickly, I want to say that you have air fingers, which means that people are going to kind of they're going to hesitate to kind of really have a very, immediate, strong bond with you, because air is one of those elements that can control things. Meaning, like, think of a ship with its sails. You can either blow the ship forward, blow it backward, or not blow at all. Right? That's a strength, isn't it? You don't know what's really going to happen. So keep that in mind, because the fingers are what you work with, and that's the first contact you're going to have with someone. They're not going to really fully be able to read you, okay? But what they will see are these fingers and where your thumb is set, okay? Hope that helped, Casey. And if you have any questions at all, Casey, just get in touch with me. Oh, Deb, I get to read your hand. All right. Wow. Okay, it's I'm having a little hard time seeing the lines in the middle. Okay, I am going to focus on, I was hoping to look for one thing, but this is good. This is good. All right. Okay, Deb. All right. So, look at your water. Water everywhere, right? Now, obviously, you do have that empathic streak through you, through the side here. It's very, probably has a lot of give to it, right? Like a little pillow all through here, okay? Now, a couple things that pop out really fast at me is, again, look at that thumb. Now, I see that you are kind of holding your thumb. You have moved your thumb up that way. So I am curious as to where it is if you were to go like that, But the way it is right now shows a lot of trepidation, shows a lot of, hey, I'm going to do this for others, and not really considering your energy. But the interesting thing is, Deb, is that you have what I call the actor's hand. When Saturn and Apollo are together like this, okay? And Jupiter, aka Zeus, and Mercury are kind of out like that, right? Which is how your hand is. That is found on professional actors and those that have to kind of, or feel they have to hide behind that mask in order to get through things and get things done, because it has more of an effect on them than they're willing to tell others. Now, it's all fine, good, right? But you have to let that mask down and be you at some point in time, don't you? We all do. We all do. We all put that mask on, And I'm not talking about the thing that we're all having to wear, right? I'm talking about the superficial kind of just, you put your mask on to get through the day, right? You have your work face, you have your work persona, you have your friend persona, all that, right? That is the type of hand that you have. What you need to know is that you have a presence line going up through the center of your hand, which it took you a while to kind of grow into who you are. And according to the depth of the line, it kind of goes in and out. It's kind of wavy, right? And the older you are getting, you are having more doubt. Write this stuff down, okay? It's okay to take that mask off and to just be you, Deb. It is, okay? Trust me on this, all right? Will you be introduced to different people when you do that? Yes. Is it the best for you? Yes, it is. That's you hiding? Okay. Now, the other thing is that you have to understand your presence line shows that you are very, very well respected. People think very, very highly of you. But why do you question that? Your hand is such a strong hand, Deb. Your energy, the water that you have, I bet you're having trouble with this moon too. Okay, so hang in there. Know that people are just going to come up to you, Deb, and start telling you their life story. And you have to put that somewhere. You don't have to just stand there and smile with that mask on and absorb it. You can take that energy and put it somewhere so you do not have to carry it. I hope that helped. Okay, so please get in touch with me because I have more I would like to talk to you about with your hand. Okay, but I hope that helps a little bit. See, it's a little weird, isn't it? It's a little odd. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Tara B, we cannot use your images. Cannot see the palm. Richard wanted me to tell you that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gail. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh. And who is this again? I'm sorry. Gail. Okay. All right, Gail. So I'm assuming this is your writing hand, your dominant hand. So kudos to you for sticking it out. Hello. So kudos to you for hanging in there and being a lefty. So you approach things with the right side of your brain. Now, Gail, looking at your hand, it is so balanced, all right? Do not freak out if you ever had your palm read somewhere else, right, by someone else, and they looked at your lifeline and they had something disturbing to say, throw that stuff, I almost said an expletive, throw that stuff out the window, okay? Because I have seen, like, I have seen 50, 60, whatever year olds, right, that come to me for a palm reading and their lifeline is maybe, I don't know, an inch and a half long, right? And obviously they're still here. So what's that tell you, okay? So, looking at your lifeline, it is very broken instead of being a nice, solid, long line. It's very disjointed, which means that you will be undergoing different paths in your life. And does it actually have to do with any kind of health or any kind of anything else? Well, based on your hand, it has to do with ideology as well as a lot of stressors. Now, I do veer away from certain subjects because we are here and we're in the internet and we're on YouTube and Facebook. But there are a few things I would say to you in person. So if you wanted to, get in contact with me and I'll just offer that up to you, all right? But looking at your lifeline, you have lines running parallel with it. It is going to take you a really long time to grow into who you are. Why, Gail? Why is that? That's because of the stuff that happened when you were really young in this particular life, okay? Now, let's look at something I find really interesting is the second line that runs through the middle of your hand, which is your wisdom line, right? It does not connect to your lifeline, which means that in your past life, something happened to you which prevented you from actually kind of completing your soul mission for that particular incarnation. So a higher authority, God, source, whatever your personal beliefs are, right, was kind of like, we're going to give Gail an edge here. We're going to have her be able to know how things are going to play out, what the truth is of the matter before anybody explains anything. So you have the hand of somebody who can make great changes for the better on a huge scale. Step into that power, Gail. Step into it. You know inside you, right, what is good, what is bad, what's right from wrong, north, south, east, west, black, white. You know the extremes before anybody even explains anything to you. And that is because of the burgeoning empath that you are becoming, the fact that you are thinking with the right side of your mind. So you do pick up on a lot of different symbols and a lot of different telltale markers that people will overlook, right? You also have the sign on your hand to write. I said it, to write. Be creative, be artistic. You could do a whole movement. You could create and start a whole movement, but you have to believe in you. Now, the thing that you are up against is that thumb. That thumb, even though it is placed lower on the Mount of Venus, right? The actual joint, right? It's large, which means that you have a tendency, you understand that? Okay, you have a tendency to actually feel better when people acknowledge what you are doing. You feel validated. You don't need that. You are the leader. You're not a follower. You're a leader. When you understand that and you feel that, you do write poetry and play an instrument, good. When you understand that, everything is going to fall into place karmically for you. And the way that your fingers are so balanced, oh, Gail, you have to just get over that self-doubt, which is also seen underneath Mercury right here, okay? So kudos to you. Write your own. Have you ever thought about writing your own music? Might want to try that. That's a different way to write your story. And a different way to paint is with music, if you think about it. The tones, the frequencies. I know that might sound a little abstract, so just hit me up later. I hope that helped, Gail. It's an honor getting to, and I didn't say this to anyone else. It's an honor, I mean it. It's an honor getting to read all of these hands. It truly is, because I view it as a very personal thing. So thank you for allowing me and to actually read your hand. All right, who do we have next? Did you say 30? Oh boy. Oh boy. We have 30 palms that have been sent in. Latoya with an N. Oh, Latoya. Okay. Oh, I like your hand. Ooh, look at all that earthiness. You got these earthy fingers and you have a combination palm, which is really, that's really rare to have a combination palm, Latoya. Now, I am, again, assuming this is the hand that you write with, okay? If that is the case, this is your current life. And just as with the previous hand, you are more right-brained. Yes, Latoya, that is your hand. It's kind of like, this is your life, right? Okay, so looking at your hand, you have all that earth, you have all that water, and you have a combination palm, which is almost as rare as having a simian hand. And what's a simian hand? That's a whole other ball of wax, okay? Now, right away, a couple things that I see on your hand is that you as well, your lifeline and your wisdom line do not touch. They're very close to each other up at the beginning, up here, right? But they don't kind of pinch and touch together, right? There is a space, which means you as well. You had something happen to you in a past life. And I am already inclined, based on the way your fingers look and some of your lines and the square that you have in the center of your palm, which is also really rare. That square is that you used too much of your personal energy. And you were just overworked, overwrought, and it's just, you didn't have time, okay? So that square, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to point it out on my hand. It's right in the center. Right in the center. And it's made with, it's right in between the relationship line, which is the top line. This is your past life. Okay, well, since we've gone this far, this is your past life, okay? So, yeah, anybody going forward, please make sure that you send in the proper hand. So, Latoya, your past life, you were very artistic, meaning you had your own way of doing things. You also were kind of the person that set the standard for everything, given that square that you have on that wisdom line in your past life. Whether it be some kind of ideology, some kind of theosophy, whatever you wrote about and that you actually did in your past life on a grand scale. Because remember, when that wisdom line does not touch the lifeline, that means that you have that innate knowing of how things are going to play out, meaning how everything's going to work out. So people would come to you. So you were in an elevated station, meaning you had authority. Whatever that was, I'm kind of leaning more towards some kind of a religious thing, believe it or not, because of how the lines look coming off of your wisdom line, the branches, okay? Now, also, your previous life shows you had to come back. You had to. There was kind of, somebody said, oh, no, your time's not done. You got to come back, LaToya. And that can be seen with the lifeline going down and then suddenly stopping. And then all of a sudden it bumps over and goes around the wrist, okay? Which means you looped back around. It was decided at the end of your lifeline, hey, LaToya's got to come back to fix this. Okay, so earth and water. I want to leave you with this, LaToya. Since this is your past life, what happens if you water a garden too much, or if you water a plant too much? And water is emotion, okay, in all of this. Yeah, you destroy everything you're trying to grow. So remember that for your current life. Don't let all of those emotions that don't belong to you destroy the things that you are working on. Okay? So that was interesting, reading a past life. Okay. If you have any questions, just get in contact with me, LaToya. All right, who do we have next, Richard? Oh. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. I'm clutching my turquoise here. I'm clutching my turquoise. I don't have pearls, but I'm clutching my turquoise. Okay. Okay, we have a VIP patron for SPTV coming up. And who is that? Pamela! Yay, Pamela. I think I read your poem before, right? Or was it a card? I can't remember. It was a card? Okay, all right. Pamela, I can barely see your lines. That's the best? Okay. Oh, yeah. We're playing with the colors here. Okay. I guess you could lighten it a little bit, and I will go by the fingers. Okay. Right off the bat, Pamela, you have a water hand, right? Now, remember what I said about water. It's emotion. This is your current life. You have to differentiate. And I know how gifted you are. We've actually had this conversation, you and I think, at some random point. Or maybe I'm just imagining it. But I feel like I've known you forever, Pamela. Okay. So, with a water hand, they are the most intuitive. They are the most empathic. It's like this natural thing because guess what? Water holds everything. Water is memory. Water holds emotions. Water washes away stuff, but carries that stuff within it. You understand? Carries it within the water that it is. So, you got a lot going on here. You do. Now, the other thing is that You have so much potential to work with on your hand. I'm going to focus on these areas down here, right, which is these little pads which are underneath the fingers. Because looking at yours, right underneath Jupiter, right, aka Zeus, do you see how squishy this area is? It's very, very elevated, like a little pillow. And your fingers also actually have give to them as well, the segments on your fingers. And I can tell that because of how you're holding your hand. Now, you can apply more, strength isn't the proper word, but you can certainly be more forceful than you are. And you know that, Pamela. You know that. You know that. Now, yes, there is a time to handle things with kid gloves, as they say. But right now, with the hand that you have untapped resources. And that is with the ability to get things done and also to show people the way out of, I want to say, confusion. Actually, that was just put into my head by one of my guides. Kind of like you can show people the way out of the maze. I'm being shown a maze in my mind. It's really interesting that all this is kicking up while I'm looking at your hand, Pamela. All the messages here. Anyway, so with Jupiter being so squished together with Saturn, do you see the shape difference between those two? Jupiter being so much wider and having so much more give means that you do have the ability to have a really great sense of self-worth and self-esteem and know when you are needed. And also, you have the ability, because of Apollo being a little bit longer than Zeus, which is rare, okay? If you were to apply all of these gifts in a creative realm, you would go so far. You really, really, really would go so far. And you know that? Okay. The other thing is your presence line that goes straight through the middle of your hand. I can see that goes down into the Mount of Luna, or aka Selene, the moon goddess, which of course is that intuitive, watery, moon-controlled area, right? So everything you are about energetically, if you want to move forward and use the gifts that you have, you are going to have to do it by listening to your inner voice. And if you have guides, and I do believe that you do have guides, listening to your guides and being creative with it. You also have lines coming from underneath Saturn and going this way and intersecting with your presence line, which goes through the center of your hand, which means that by acting and behaving altruistically, meaning working from the heart, working with honesty, working with the truth, you're going to be revered. You really will be revered. But you remember, the type of hand that you have as water, people are going to be putting their water into your boat that you are just trying to row and get to shore with, okay? And you're not going to be asking for that, but because of who you are and the strengths that you have, they're going to identify that and they're going to dump their problems, water, into your boat, and then they're going to leave because they feel better. Do not let that get you down, Pamela. Do not. That's why you need to have a good, like, soul tribe circle to go to. So I hope that helped, because you've got so much to work with. And look at your bracelets. I don't talk about the bracelets much because there's a lot of different interpretations about bracelets. But you have so many, like almost like a chameleon. You can start something and give it 100% and then start another thing. Like one thing will lead to another, step by step by step. So you have a really great hand, Pamela. Kudos to you. You really do. You really, really do. But listen to that inner voice. Okay? Hope that helped. Okay. All right. It's very hard to not let it happen. Just giving you a warning. Yeah. Am I talking from experience? Maybe. I don't know. All right. So, thank you, Pamela. And again, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. You can find me, well, just about anywhere. Facebook, on Rachel G. Palmistry, at my website, racheljpalmistry.com, and also I am on YouTube. I'm here. Hello. At least I think I'm here, right? And you can also, as I said, go to spiritualpsychicstv.com, and you can look at my profile and past shows, and you can also look at all of the other readers that are a part of SPTV. Okay. So who do we have next, Richard? Mm-hmm. Amy. Amy, Amy, all right. Oh, wow, that's so interesting, Amy. I'm not stumped. I'm just kind of in awe of something that's on your hand. Amy, do you read cards? Do you read or do anything like that, or use a pendulum? Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Well, hopefully you'll answer that question, because it will decide which way this goes. But I'm going to talk about your fingers a little bit. You can see that your fingers are a completely different shape from your palm, meaning type of hand that it belongs to. So you do have a combination hand. Most people do, actually. Now, you have this watery fingers, really, really long fingers, and your palm is a mixture of earth with a little bit of air, believe it or not. Now, the interesting thing I find is that everything on your hand is going down into the Mount of Luna or Selene, okay, which is this area, that intuitive area where we pull all of those psychic abilities, those psychic gifts, where we are like keyed into the spiritual, right? All that is on this area of the hand. And the thing that you have is that you have an X, a huge X marking the spot right there on that area of your hand, which is why I'm saying, if you are not, you used to read tarot years ago, okay? Now, is there a particular reason why you stopped? I think I might. Did it get a little too intense for you? If it did, okay, I can understand that. Given something that's on your hand, because what we work with, as I said first, are the fingers, okay? And looking at your fingers, Apollo and Saturn are longer than your other fingers. And how do I put this? You have abilities, but I think that you need to step back into using them, but very, very small baby steps, okay? Now, with that X there, and with your wisdom line kind of stopping right at where that X starts, if you notice what I'm talking about, okay? Like your wisdom line doesn't go all the way across, okay? It just kind of stops in the middle of your hand, and then down below it is where this X is that I'm talking about. It goes right there, okay? Life got so busy, I do try to speak to my mom in spirit all the time. Okay. All right. Well, this may sound a little weird, but my advice to you based on your hand is to not try. There are other things that you need to be doing right now, and you do need to be more involved with the spiritual side of things, meaning I really get the impression of like working with a pendulum. I don't know if you've ever worked with one or not, but you might want to try it. And if not, if you feel too busy, you might want to try oracle cards and maybe pull an oracle card when you wake up and have that as a focus for the day. So, because as you were saying, life got so busy for you, right? So it will give you a kind of an outline to shape your day around, like a frame for a picture, right? And what you do that day is the picture that you're going to put in that frame. Now, the other thing is that you have been going along in life being a certain way. There is going to be a drastic shift. And I feel it's going to be because you are going to become more aware of your spiritual gifts. And you are going to start using them even more. Now, the other thing is that my advice to you is based on your fingers, again, because of that wateriness. You are going to have to figure out where to put those emotions you sense from other people, all right? Now, there are all different kinds of books to read. There are all different kinds of classes to take. Hey, Richard, is Wendy still doing the pendulum class by any chance? Okay. Amy, there is, if you are interested, and if you've never used a pendulum, please go to spiritualpsychicstv.com, and Wendy Lindsay is teaching a pendulum class, and you can check it out, right? And see what it's all about. See if you like it and see if it works for you. Baby steps, baby steps. Because you do feel things so intensely based on how your lines look that a lot of people aren't going to understand that at first. So baby steps in your relationships, whether they be personal or professional, okay? I hope that helped. I hope that helped, Amy. Let me know how it goes. Mm-hmm. Who do we have? I would love to do. Okay. You're very welcome. $22. Okay. Lindsay, you're getting a reading. Okay. Let me turn this light down. I feel like I'm being sunburnt by a fake lamp. Okay. All right, that's much better. Lindsay, look at your hand. And you, Lindsay, have simian qualities on your hand. Bravo. Bravo. Okay, now what the heck does that mean, right? Well, if you remember, I said simian-handed people. It's not 100% simian, okay? It's just a tendency, a quality of a simian-handed person. What that means is that 5%, maybe even a little less than 5% of the entire population of the planet have a unique palm called a simian hand. And that's where instead of having three major dominant lines on their hand, they will only have two. That means that the relationship line, which is the top, right? I'll use my funky pen here, okay? Which is up at the top, all right? That's the relationship. And then the one in the middle that goes across, that is the wisdom line. And then you have the lifeline. Well, on simian-handed people, the wisdom line and the relationship line is one. They're kind of like all braided and wrapped together straight across the palm like that. Now, as you can see, you do have some dips, right? Some random pits, we'll call it, of a wisdom line. But it is most definitely not as deep as any of the other lines on your hand, is it? So what that means is that you have simian tendencies. Simian-handed people have an intensity about them where a lot of palm readers just won't read their hands. They just won't, okay? And I think that's wrong, personally. So that's why I go ahead and read them anyway. And what it means is imagine if your wisdom line, meaning, your own principles and your ethics and your expectations and how you want to be treated and how you treat others, that's the wisdom line, right? Your foundation, your beliefs. If your wisdom line is braided with your relationships, okay, and all one line, can you imagine what that does to your relationships? So, if somebody does something that is, we'll say, irritating or doesn't meet up with an expectation that you might have, there's going to be some trouble in the relationship world, okay? Because you treat people the way you want to be treated. I see that on your hand, okay? Now, the thing you have to understand is that that's a rare quality to have, a simian tendency. So, I mean, less than 5 to less than that % of the entire world. Are others out there like that? Absolutely. But they're few and far between. Now, looking at your fingers, you have a shorter thumb, which means that you might not really even want to interact with people because they have let you down, okay? And looking at your amount of Venus here, you have a lot, you have a lot of little lines from the actual base of the thumb going toward the lifeline. And all of those fine lines represent situations that, those make or break kind of moments, okay, where they have a lasting effect. You might ruminate over them again and again and again, and they kind of mold you into who you are as you get older, okay? Because this is the Mount of Venus, and it's about social interaction. So these are things that were caused by other people. But the even more interesting thing is that with your lifeline, these moments in time caused by others that just didn't get you, has nothing to do with you. Nothing, okay? But because they just didn't get it, right? Decisions were made in your life to kind of ensure that those things would never happen again. And it's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, you know? It's like you can't go anywhere if you shoot yourself in the foot, you know? Okay, so another thing I want to point out is that even though you have all this stuff, and this is the beginning of the lifeline, and down here at the wrist is the end, okay? Even though you have all of this stuff, even going through your lifeline, which means that it made you make certain decisions, okay? You have guardians on the other side in the spirit world. Spirit, you like that? It's a spirit. Oh. Spirit world. Whether they be friends, family on the other side in heaven, or wherever what your personal beliefs are. And they're represented in the lines that go this way, that run parallel with your lifeline. And anytime you feel sad, anytime you feel alone because of that simian intensity that you carry with you, that vibration, you look at your hand and you see how many energies are on the other side pulling for you and protecting you. Because I want you to know, without them, it could be so much worse. Okay? So you have so many energies that care about you, Lindsay. Just keep plugging along, as they say over here in the States. Okay, keep doing what you are doing and keep being you. You have a very strong presence line, which is that line that goes up through the center here. You also have a triangle, which for you is the sign of greatness. So once you can actually balance and mellow this stuff out, there is greatness behind you that the likes of people have not seen in a very long time, because you have the regular hand of, you know, the 95% of the population of the planet, but you also really are keyed into that other 5% too that go neglected, okay? So hang in there, be you, okay? And light a candle. Say thank you to all those energies on the other side, because if you don't say thank you to them, no one is, and they are looking out for you. All right, so I hope that helped, Lindsay. I know it's a little abstract of a reading, but yeah. Family and friends in heaven always feel alone, but used and hurt by loads. That's the type of hand that you have. And see that, if you are ever curious as to why that might be, that you have this type of hand for this particular life, the reason as to why can be seen in the hand that you do not write with, which is the non-dominant hand. Just as an FYI. So thank you for letting me read your hand, Lindsay. Okay, so how much more time do we have, Richard? I think I would like to do some cards. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay, this is tomorrow night. We have Live with Spirit. And who will be on? It will be Sharon and Trudy Hughes. And what will they be doing? Okay, they will be, Sharon and Trudy will be doing some tarot cards and also some mediumship. So please tune into that. That's tomorrow night at 8. So that means that is 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is what you kind of broke up there, Richard. I'm sorry, you were saying? Okay, and this is something fantastic. I was looking at this earlier for Thursday, this coming Thursday evening. And is Terry somehow involved in this, or no? Okay, all right. Well, please join in with this because this looks absolutely fascinating, and the graphics were just like, I was like, what? When I looked at the graphics. But please join in on this. A higher consciousness. Is society becoming more aware regarding a higher consciousness? Think about that and tune in on Thursday. And then, all right. Okay. Okay. I doubt that's the question. I have on my screen, oh, hey, Lindsay. Okay, right. Okay, creative living. What does it mean if your lifeline splits into two? Well, in all honesty, it depends on the individual palm itself because every line around it has a meaning. And where the lifeline splits, like does it bend and curve into a direction? Does it like fork out at the end? All of that has meaning. But in simple, very simplistic answer to that, if let's say it was your lifeline and it goes to here, there's a big empty space, and then it starts again in what would be the same continuous path, that is a health issue. According to traditional palmistry, that is a health issue that's going to show up. Okay? Now, all that with mindfulness, being very self-aware of you, what you are doing, taking care of you, balancing things in your life, right? That can actually change, even though, which I haven't discussed this evening, the lifeline, the wisdom line, and the relationship line, those 3 lines are the lines that will never change. They're on you when you were in the womb at around 4 to 5 weeks old. They are the second lines to form after the fingerprints. Okay? So where you do see life is in all of the variations and the variants and the branching that come off of those major lines. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. And if your line does that, don't panic. Okay? Don't panic. Just means to be more aware of what's going on with you and how you are holding on to things and how external things are affecting you. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Okay. All right, will do. All right, so I am currently doing a Palmistry 101 class, and this Thursday is the last day for this session of it. I am going to be offering it again. It is a 4-week course, but we meet once a week, okay? And I'm going to be posting more information about that on spiritualpsychicstv.com in the events section. And that'll be on there very shortly. And why I am doing the 101 is to kind of let people understand and get a feeling for the, how do I put this, like the traditional terms that people use for the lines and what they traditionally mean. The way I read, I have been doing it for over 30 years. So I'm kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different techniques and different things that I've read, different things that I've seen and experienced with people, right? So the 101 is a very kind of a brush up course on what the lines are called, what they mean traditionally. So they are called something a little different than what I call them, because then from that point, I'm going into more culturally specific and traditional palmistry, like Chinese palmistry, Vedic palmistry, a little bit of indigenous First Nation, meaning American Indian palmistry, etc., across the board. So it's good to have that base. So be on the lookout for all those classes that are going to be thrown all over the place, and surely to drive Richard crazy. On spiritualpsychicstv.com, and please sign up for it. It's really, really great. Really, really is. So be on the lookout. I would like to do a couple tarot readings, if you don't mind, Richard. Okay. Sarah Jane. Okay. You're getting a tarot card. Remember, this is quick, so come try. If you have any questions, get in contact with me. Now, all these cards are from the Light Seers Tarot deck, okay? Here's your card. The 5 of Cups. Hope you can see that. Communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Look at the blue. Yes, this is a water card. Yes, you are watching things wash away. Yes. Communicate. Blue is the throat chakra, okay? You need to communicate what you are feeling and why you are doing what you are currently doing. Also, you're kind of getting rid of all of these singing bowls and you're letting them go down into this hole. Why are you doing that? Don't abandon ship just yet. Start explaining why things are affecting you. I hope that helped. Hope that helped, Sarah. Okay, if there is anybody on right now that is VIP, you can go ahead and state that in the chat and we'll try to squeeze a few of you in. Okay? Looking forward to that. Hey, Magella. All right, here we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. 5 of Pentacles. You don't need to be doing this to yourself, and you are doing this to yourself. And what is this? The traditional card, the Rider-Waite, is where people do have the ability to help themselves. But it's kind of like that scenario where I said earlier of shooting yourself in the foot, right? Keeping yourself from progressing and getting off of the hamster wheel. You notice the key to the door is over here, but you seem to think you don't have a way out. You do. You need to look up and be more aware of what's going on around you. There is a way to make things for you. And allow those people in to your life. Allow them in. This is an earth card. This is family. This is friends. This is growth. Okay? And attainment. I hope that helped, Magella. You don't need to treat yourself that way. Nobody does. Hey, Heather. Thanks for being a VIP. Let's pull a quick card for you. Okay. Ooh. You have the Hanged Man. Now, and you're on that, what's that called? Aerobatic yoga pose there. That's fancy. I've never actually pulled the Hangman in this deck yet. Now, Heather, you do know the answers. You know this card is often called the Odin card, often called compared to a Christ card, right? We get all these different meanings with this card. But why are you waiting? You know the answers. And I'm also going to say you know the language that you need to use, meaning you know the words that you need to use to explain the situation. This is a major arcana card, so you are going through a major life situation. My sister, my cranky sister, often tells me, use your words, Rachel, when I get all flustered. And I'm going to tell you, Heather, and yes, she's being sarcastic when she says that. But with you, Heather, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Look up the history behind the Hanged Man card. How do you think runes came about? Yeah, okay. You create. If you do not see the world you want around you, it's ready to get off that tree and build it. Okay, build it, because you already know what you need to do. You already have the wisdom. Get down off that tree. Okay, hope that helped, Heather. VIP, love a card. All right, Catherine. Here we go. Oh, the Chariot. That's a pretty card. Look at that. So we have a duality here. We have a black horse. We have a white horse. So we have the good and the bad. And you are charging in on it, right? Now the Chariot. The Chariot. Major arcana. Major life change. Also, the energy behind the Chariot is with you right now. Ride into battle, whatever that battle is, whether it be a disagreement, whether it just be kind of self-uncertainty, meaning uncertain about you and a decision that you are making. Take charge. Take charge of it. You can do it. You have the energy of the Chariot behind you. You're being drawn by two horses, and embrace the duality of the outcome, meaning the good and the bad, because it's all about growth. I hope that helped, Catherine. Okay, is there anybody else? Loretta Rose. Loretta Rose is in the house. Miss Loretta Rose, thank you for joining over here on SPTV. Loretta comes to a lot of my my chats that I do. Here's a card for you, Miss Loretta. No. You got the Hanged Man too, and I shuffled. That's rare. He got the Hanged Man too, and I shuffled. Now, Loretta, I know a little bit about your situation here. I'm not going to go into it because it's out here on a public forum, okay? But I am going to say, you know what needs to be done. You know. And and I also know this happens to be one of your favorite cards, which is really crazy. And all about Odin, all about the runes, all about the tree of wisdom, knowledge, life, learning, whatever you want to call it, right? You are there. Use it. Use it. Be the teacher. Show the people how to use their language and to use their words properly. Okay? All right. And I think, yeah, and it applies to somebody that you know. Okay. Hope that helps. That was funny. Yeah, pulled the same card and pulled her favorite card. That was weird. All right, so Natasha. Absolutely. Look at that smile. Who wouldn't be drawn to that smile, Natasha? Here we go. Quick card. The Four of Swords. No. Natasha. No. Open your eyes. This isn't something you need to sleep through. There is no comfort here. Okay? There is a kind of loss, but there is definitely no comfort here. If you look, these are thorns, aren't they? That are just kind of have pronged you into place like a jewel setting on a ring, right? And there is a heart on a string. There's loneliness. There's fear. All tied up in this. And it is a sword card, which is conflict. Remember, the sword that you have, even though you're in this nest, you carry a sword. Use it. Use it. Cut the string. Cut yourself out of this. You don't belong there. You don't. I hope that helped, Natasha. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. Yeah. Now, everybody, thank you so much. I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. Okay? It was an honor getting to do readings for you. And remember, if you think, now I'm kind of going to scold some of you a little bit. If you think what I said was too personal about your palms, or maybe you consider them to be flaws, or maybe you're a little bit embarrassed or intimidated by what I said, no. This is about your energy, and life is about growth, okay? So these aren't flaws. These aren't weaknesses. These aren't really problems. This is just life, okay? This is our current life, all of us together. And you are loved. Even though you may be facing a lot of adversity, you exist. Your energy that makes you uniquely you exists. You're here in this life, and you've been in other lives before. And you're here again, okay? So take care of you and understand how important and loved you truly are. And it's a love you're probably never really going to fully fathom, because it's an existential kind of thing, right? And as Plato said, and I know Richard's probably cringing right now that I mentioned Plato, but as Plato said, and I'm paraphrasing, the only real thing that we're ever going to know is that we're never going to know. You understand? But no, you're here. And we're all energy, and we're all in this together. So much love to you, much respect, and thank you once again. I will be here again in 2 weeks, same time, 10:30 UK time, 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time in the US. And I hope to see you then. If you have any questions, please reach out. And check out my classes that I'm going to be putting up on the website, spiritualpsychicstv.com. Take care, everybody, and have a good night wherever you are. Take care.